I take a little nap, and then all that happens when I wake up is I see notifications out of every possible angle discussing R. Kelly. And I can only imagine what it's going to be about now. So, what I wake up to is notifications saying that R. Kelly has been charged with 10 counts of aggravated assault or, aggravated sexual assault. I said, yeah, they are doing everything they can to get this man, and I think they might have finally got him. So, as y'all remember, over a month ago, how we kicked off 2019 was with that documentary that came on Lifetime, called Surviving R. Kelly. And it got the talk of the town, more like the talk of the globe, because everyone kept talking about it. Everywhere you looked, everyone was talking about how they watched the documentary. And but from that documentary, it kind of backfired a little bit. It didn't get the traction that a lot of people had thought it should get. And then nothing really happened or anything came from it. A lot of the stuff that was in that documentary, people had already knew about for a while now. It's just the fact that why didn't people go and pursue anything against him at that time? It's because a lot of those parents were involved. That's all I'm going to say. I'm actually going to come back to that a little bit later on in the video. So they did that. People watched it. Everyone kept talking about it. Lifetime was, of course, and Disney were proud because that gave Lifetime some of their biggest ratings that they've had in the last couple of years on that network. Disney as well, since Disney owns Lifetime. Lifetime is a subsidiary of Disney. Fast forward a little bit, maybe about maybe a month after the documentary comes out, you had this individual by the name of Michael Avenatti, Natty, whatever how you pronounce the last name, had came forward and said that there was this new tape that was out there, and I think he was maybe on CNN or something like that, one of those lamestream media outlets, and he came out and he said that there was this new tape that was given and presented. And we was like, new tape? Well, okay, what's going on now? And they said the tape was, when they say tape, it was just that, another VHS style tape that came out, and it was probably, years before then. Because, the first one was, of course, the one we all know about back in the early 2000s. And then there was another one that was produced. And then I said, yeah, they really want to bury R. Kelly now. This is the one right here that's probably going to get him. Because they probably had that on standby, which to me sounds very suspicious to me. It sounds real suspect. If y'all had this tape, because they said this tape was sat on for about 2 decades. So as a matter of fact, I think this tape may have been older than the one we saw. I think this was maybe back in the late 90s. It had to be. They weren't years apart, but this one I think was before. If they sat on this tape for 2 decades, then why didn't they say anything then? And why are they holding on to evidence? See, I think they had it as like as a plan B, just in case plan A, which obviously didn't work, did not pan out. So they had it as a backup plan. And this is the one that they're deciding to bury him with. And I got an image, and shout out to one of my subscribers, Caressa McKnight, because she sent me a picture where 2 of the alleged victims from, I guess, R. Kelly's past, who we're just now learning about, they are sitting right there at that table with you know who. That devil, Gloria Allbad, coaching them along, doing what she usually does. Both of them are black women now, and they said that they had involvement with R. Kelly back when they were both 15 and 16 years of age. And now we're here with this. It says that he's been hit with 10 separate counts of aggravated sexual abuse charges. I'm going to go ahead and read some of this article right here because it has a little timeline to it. Let's see. It says, attorney Michael Avenatti says he has evidence R. Kelly and his enablers paid witnesses and others to rig the outcome of the R&B star 2008 trial, right when he was acquitted on child pornography charges. Avenatti told the Associated Press that's one piece of information he'll present at a news conference Friday in Chicago. Kelly has denied allegations of sexual misconduct involving women and underage girls for years. His attorney didn't immediately respond to a request for comment Friday. Avenatti said last week he gave the Cook County State's Attorney Office a videotape he says shows Kelly having sex with an underage girl. On Thursday, two women said Kelly picked them out of a crowd at Baltimore after party in the mid-1990s and had sex with one of them who was 16. And I believe that was the two women that I saw who was in the picture with Gloria Allred that was sent to me. Then it says Chicago prosecutors have charged R&B star R. Kelly with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse, according to media reports citing court records. Friday's charges come after years of allegations directed at Kelly, accusing the now 52-year-old of sexual misconduct involving women and underage girls. Through his lawyers, he has consistently denied them. Kelly, whose legal name is Robert Kelly, is one of the top-selling recording artists of all time. He has won multiple Grammys, including for his hit song I Believe I Can Fly. Jurors acquitted Kelly of child pornography charges at a 2008 trial. Those charges stem from a video prosecutors allege showed Kelly having sex with a girl as young as 13. Attorney Michael Avenatti said last week that he recently gave Chicago prosecutors new video evidence of Kelly having sex with an underage girl. I'm glad that I'm reading this right now because this is actually going to connect to something. I have something to say about a certain individual with some stuff that recently just came out about them. It says court documents charging R. Kelly with aggravated sexual abuse involve multiple victims dating back to at least 1998. The charges filed Friday list 4 victims, including at least 3 between the ages of 13 and 17. The victims are listed only by initials in the document. Let's see here. It says a Chicago judge has authorized a no bail arrest warrant for R. Kelly after the R&B singer was charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. Judge Dennis Porter signed the order. No bail arrest warrants don't necessarily mean the defendant won't eventually be offered bail once appearing in court to answer the charges. The charges filed Friday list 4 victims, at least between the ages of 13 and 14. Court documents charging R&B star R. Kelly with sexual abuse say the assault occurred over more than a 2-decade time frame. It says, the allegations were spotlighted again this year in the Lifetime documentary. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx later urged victims to witnesses to come forward. I remember when she did that. That was a huge dog whistle right there. And a lot of people didn't like when Kim Foxx did that. Let's see, Fox is expected to discuss the latest charges at a Friday news conference. It's funny, now Kim Foxx has the voice to find because guess what? Didn't she just recuse herself from the Jussie Smollett thing? That made a lot of people look at her side eye too. But anyway, it's funny, this comes out the same exact day as those charges that just got hit or sent to Robert Kraft for the solicitation of prostitution. That's number one. Guess who will be talked about more? R. Kelly for sure is going to be talked about more. They are going to do whatever they can to sweep everything with Robert Kraft under the rug, and they're going to try to keep it there too. But we ain't going to forget about Robert Kraft. That means we got to stay diligent when it comes to Robert Kraft. We know mainstream media is going to stay on R. Kelly's ass. They have been for years. And another thing, guess what else also happened this week? I didn't make a video on it, but I'm mentioning it now. Guess what else also happened this week? Some more stuff or more shady stuff came out about Jeffrey Epstein's, more so his attorneys. It turns out that they were doing some shady stuff involving the victims with that particular case, where they were keeping them out of the loop for a lot of stuff that kept them from, coming forward with some information that most likely would have turned that case on its head and caused Jeffrey Epstein to most likely go to jail. And I'm talking about a real jail, not no country club or whatever it is they tried to put him in. You remember when they was saying what was it? That he was able to go here for a couple of days or a few times out the weekend, and he was able to go home and everything like that. I swear, to be wealthy and white in this establishment. And I won't be surprised if the same thing happens to Robert Kraft. Now I wonder what the comment section is looking like for Robert Kraft with that stuff that's come out about him. Because it's amazing, because Robert Kraft was the #1 trending topic on Twitter when his stuff first broke. I saw his name, I saw I saw Robert Kraft, Bob Kraft, the New England Patriots all up and down Twitter on the trending topics. Now that this come out, you probably won't see Robert Kraft anywhere on the list. It's gotten replaced by R. Kelly. Ironically, on the same damn day. Now I don't know what it's going to say by the time I upload this video, but I just thought that was very ironic. But like I said, this was the Trojan horse right here. This is what they needed. This is what they wanted. After all, this right here is probably going to be the nail in the coffin to R. Kelly's career. They said they couldn't get him back then. They couldn't get him back in 2008. They couldn't get him through this documentary. So we'll get him through this new thing right here. But guess what though? I will not be shocked or surprised if R. Kelly starts dropping names of others that were involved. Because I'm telling you right now, he was not the only one involved. Now remember when I was talking about that I had to like talk about like certain other individuals and everything like that. Those parents really showed their natural ass based on what I heard in that documentary. Now, if R. Kelly really wants to start a shitstorm, he'll start dropping them parents' names. And he should, because they had just as much involvement in this as he did. A lot of those parents took their kids to see R. Kelly, not just for a concert, but for a whole nother type of show, in hopes that their kids or their daughters would become famous. They already knew what he was on. They already knew what he was about, and they continued to take them there. And then, you know, they kept saying about these girls that's being held hostage by him. These so-called girls are grown women who are choosing to stay wherever it is that they are at. Clearly, at this point, you can't even say that they're being held hostage anymore. They are just there. But that's really all I have to say as it pertains to the R. Kelly thing right now. I'm sure now there's going to be another thing that's coming out. My goodness. I have to quote Angry Man on something right now. He said, I don't know what's going on in Chicago with the celebrities up there. First you had Jussie Smollett and his shit. Now you got R. Kelly and his shit. And notice that these are both black men right here. I know what they're trying to do. They got Bill Cosby with this. And now they're going after, and they're most likely going to get R. Kelly. And notice that the two biggest wins so far with this Me Too shit happen to both be iconic black men. One a little bit more iconic than the other, but iconic nonetheless in their own right. Yet you still have Harvey Weinstein, who we barely hear about. And every time we do hear about Harvey Weinstein, there's some case that's being dropped, most likely because money involvement. The last thing we heard about Harvey Weinstein was him taking Rose McGowan's attorneys and throwing him on his team. Then you had Jeffrey Epstein, and the only time we hear about him is now his attorneys seem to be more shadier than he is, because it seemed like more shit come out about them than stuff that should be coming out about him. Kevin Spacey, at this point, is like, who is that? Because we rarely hear about him these days. But the only thing that those three have in common is so much more is not hearing them say, we have these charges against you that are going to stick, or we're about to convict you of this, that, and the third, or we're about to send you to jail. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.